What? Remake? Hmm. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first semi-final of the EDX Winter Championship. This is going to be the game between Frost Academy and Infamous. Frost Academy, 2 years since they formed into their formation, a fairly old team at this point, as is INF, who, well, though they have formed only this year and did a whole number by winning the Flipkart Gaming Online Championship like about 5 to 6 months ago. They're now under a different roster. Both teams are under very different rosters right now since their formation. So we'll be seeing different squads, but the team and the morale and everything surrounding it is still probably the same. I'm Zedaius, and joined by me is Anthracite. How's it going, man?
It's all good. By the way, EDX won the FGOC.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
I was I was okay. Basically, okay, I'll tell you why I confused myself with that. It's because I went all the way to the semifinals with a team called Disbanding Soon as the mid laner, and we lost to INF.
Yep,
And
yep.
that squad isn't really playing, and I'm kind of feeling very sad that that squad isn't really playing as FA today, but oh well. Apologies
Yep.
for that huge mistake.
There's
Anyway,
there's been little changes in the INF squad, so Zabardast wasn't able to make it today. So
yeah, we see Shifu, we see Kranko in. It's like, yeah, I only recognize Cluster, Ripcord, and Sam,
Kranko
of
even
course.
played in the FGOC, but today Kranko is playing mid instead of support, and
I see, huh?
Shifu is playing top. But now that I see Sam here, I think Kranko might go support, or it'll either be between Kranko or Shifu. So let's see who really decides to go the support way.
Tens,
Cluster,
I guess.
Cluster will be pretty much sticking to jungle. Ripcord will be on the AD carry, and Sam I think will be pretty much mid.
I seriously hope Shifu goes Rengar top. The last 4 or 5 normal games that I've played with him, where he had to go top lane, he went Rengar top and only ever managed to make full use of it in one game. Sorry, Shifu, for calling you out like this, but you really do suck at Rengar top. Anyway, anyway, all trash talking aside, this is just between me and Shifu, okay? Just, yeah, I'm not going to do
Yeah,
this to anyone else.
yeah. We
Anyway.
all trash talk Shifu. We all love Shifu so much.
So anyway, let's go into the bans. We do see FA banning LeBlanc, Jace, and Vayne, and on the side of INF, we do see Darius, Twitch, and Lee Sin being banned against FA. All very, very targeted bans. Nothing really banned in like nothing really current meta bans or anything. They're not really banning the open in the form of patches and in the form of this patch and preseason and everything. So yeah, very, very targeted bans. LeBlanc against either Sam or Crank or who, depending on whoever goes mid at this point, because we really can't figure out
I
already.
think
But
Kranko will
anyway,
be support. Kranko will be support because it's either
Jay is
Kranko or
probably
Shifu on
also
support.
against. Yeah, and Jay is probably also against Sam. I'm not too sure about Cluster's Jace either because I don't know the players very well. I have not been playing
Oh,
this game for
Cluster
long
played
enough
a
recently,
beautiful
so
Cluster played a beautiful Jace jungle last game. So I think that ban coming out from there, and Krista will fall back to his Rengar. We have never really seen him play Rengar in the tournament, but he spams a lot of Rengar in solo queue, and let's see how it pans out.
uh, right. And on the side of INF, we do see Darius being banned against Panda. Obviously, he is very, very popular on that Darius pick, on Darius, Rumble, and I forgot to Gangplank, of course. Who could possibly forget Gangplank? FA Panda's Gangplank, another really popular pick. He's the only player that I know the best out of all the others. Probably not as much as I knew Panda because we've pretty much been friends for like 3 years, and we played a lot of matches together. I've seen him play a lot with insane potential last year. So just being a part of all that is like really amazing for me. So I can instantly recognize why any team would ban Darius against Panda right now because he is known to solo carry single-handedly 1v9 teams with his Darius and the pressure that he can deal with, that he can put off on the map. And Twitch probably going against Carnage. I'm not too sure why. I'm not too sure about the player, so I can't really speak for how good he is on that pick. But if it's good enough that INF have to ban it against Carnage, then sure, go ahead, I guess. And Lee Sin, because I think they probably. Okay, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure why they banned Lee Sin either. I don't really know the jungler as much. So lots of, I mean, things that are in the dark. I mean, I'm in the dark on a lot of things here. So apologies for that. It is definitely on me to stay, having stayed away from everything League of all India related for the last like few months or so since F to be exact. So yeah,
Well, Shifu sticking with that Maokai top. Last two games he's just played Maokai top, and he'll stick to that pretty much. Carnage is Red MR, and Red MR is known to adapt to a lot of new AD
no,
carries.
actually, I
So,
believe Redamar said that he isn't playing. I
oh,
was
he isn't
chatting with
playing.
him slightly earlier. That's not. That's I think Holy Gunners.
Oh, that's Holy Gunners.
I
So
believe that's Holy
I'm so
Gunners.
sorry,
Yeah. Okay.
but
Yeah. Carnage is Holy
yeah,
Gunners.
but yeah. So Twitch might be a target ban. Even I'm a bit unaware of this, and
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Holy Gunners is a very decorated AD carry though. He is someone who was playing very, very dedicated to his role as a carry, just like how Panda is for top lane and Aurora Sarai is for mid lane. Like from the very start, he has been playing that and only that. I mean, like playing that role and only that role. So yeah, lots of things to expect this thing. Oh, Carnage is Svedan. Okay, sorry, I just got confused from saying that Carnage is Deadly Killer, aka Svedan Shetty. I'm so
oh,
sorry, man.
it's
I'm so sorry.
Vedan. It's
I'm
Vedan. Now
so very
now things
misinformed on so many things.
things
Yes,
make a lot of sense. Yeah,
Swedan's Twitch is deadly. Okay, he played
yeah.
for Derailed once. I wasn't Derailed, if some of you do still recognize me. And he was our AD carry for a while, for about a couple of tournaments, and his Twitch is deadly. I'm so sorry that I did not know this.
Yep, Svedan
Anyway,
Twitch ban against Svedan. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
we're off to
So
a great start here, having
yeah,
casted for so long. Anyway,
so a Sol pickup coming in, and it's a very annoying champion. But
yeah, actually, let's take it one by one. Let's take it in the way they were picked because we will have a 3 minute delay. Having being spectators ourselves, we're not really right to go into game live at the same time as the players. So since we don't have the luxury, we can just take it up one by one. I'm really glad at the pace at which we're casting here. We just adapted to the 3 minute delay that ensues, where we just don't end up to a point where we just sit and stare at the screen, waiting for that timer to tick down. So first pick, Zyra. Since on that Zyra, I haven't seen his Zyra so much. I've only seen since Nami a lot, and he is fairly good at Nami when he puts his mind to it. But I hear he's only flashes of brilliance player in my eyes. I mean, it's not to berate him or something. I do think he's still a very good player. But yeah, I haven't ever seen his Zyra, so it'll be interesting for me alone to see if some have seen his Zyra before and know think that is a very valid pick, of course.
Well, Zyra is one of those supports which is in the meta currently because she brings so much utility and so much damage as a support in the lane.
That's true. That's true. She is she really fits into the meta right now, especially after the changes that were made on her. The fact that she can just auto-generate plants all around her as part of a passive now is really useful, and she can just set up a lot of like really good traps and catches with that grasping vines, and just set up a lot of zoning that can happen. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he pulls that side off. On INF side, we did see the Rengar and Karma first two picks coming out of on the side of INF, which I'm not too sure. Again, the cluster, I haven't seen him on the jungle much. I do know that he's a really great top laner, but seeing him in the jungle is a first for me. So I'm not too sure about clusters Rengar and Kranko is generally a support. He's generally a really great support player. Got masked tier once, I believe. I'm
Yeah,
not sure if
he,
he got
he
there or he was
finished
in series to
master
that.
last season.
Oh, right, yeah, so, correct. So Kranko being a master tier support would definitely have worked out and known his relatively better than most other Indian supports that would have got the hang of that champion. And in response to the Rengar and Karma, we did see a Caitlyn and Nautilus picked up. It is going to be a Nautilus jungle this game, though, which is interesting because I only see Nautilus played in the top lane, considering Courage of the Colossus is now around and Nautilus can deploy hard CC really easily. And Caitlyn's era, of course, the standard. It is a very classic poke lane where they both can just completely flurry you in with blow after blow after blow, and this thing. And it's really interesting that we got pick Ash into this because if Ash gets caught by the Zyra at any time, they can set up ganks so easily, and it's just ridiculous how easily FA can just kill the Ash by landing one grasping root or one say Nautilus dredge line. Yeah. So very interesting. I'm not sure unless Ripcord is exceptionally good on Ash enough to pick it into such things. It's very interesting. Shifu, of course, going on Maokai. I have seen him play on Maokai a few, some of the times, some of the few times, and he kind of makes that champ work. And yeah, it'll be interesting. And the Aurelion Soul at mid lane, I haven't seen too many Aurelion Souls besides who he played at Worlds, and I couldn't make sense of it back then because I wasn't playing the game when Aurelion Sol was out to fully realize how he looked like. So it'll be interesting how that goes. And Arunasara with the Victor. Victor is of course being a very safe pick right now. He's a very easy to fall back on and a very reliable pick in the mid lane. He has been so for the past 2 seasons right now,
Yep,
even
that's true.
though there were significant changes done to him, like the laser being slow and this thing. I'm a mid laner, so if I end up ranting too much about mid lane, just stop me because I main mid lane anyway.
Yep.
And I also main Victor, so yeah, that's also there.
Well, the Aurelion Sol is all over a very nuisance if you consider as a pick because he has so much gang potential and his wave clear is one of the most stable wave clears. Is pretty easy to CS with him. So you can just push your wave and keep ganking with your E ability, and that becomes a huge nuisance.
Yeah, true. We did see who CLG's who he do a level one roam, I believe, where he just farmed like he just pushed out the first wave with his W and just went bottom immediately. And then with by expanding the stars around him, he actually got a kill on the enemy AD carry. I forgot which team CLG were against in that game, but that was a very freaky play that who he did just to make it work on different people. So, and Panda on that Rumble, again, I did say that Darius, Rumble, and Gangplank were probably Panda's best champs back at the time when he was climbing and when he was, playing for insane potential and all that. This was one of the picks that he would seriously go along with Renekton, of course. He originally started off as someone who was really good at Renekton.
Yep.
But
And
yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he'll go against the Maokai. It's a very dry lane. I mean, I don't think Maokai is a sort that will get really pressure or rumble, but it's more about how he can secure his farm and get to the state where he can, I believe, get to his power spike and his item power spikes and all that, and see how that goes.
yep, that's very true. The most interesting lane I feel will be the bot lane because Karma and Zyra are both poke heavy champions as well as Ash and Caitlyn. So there'll be a constant trade to and fro, and
Minions
it'll
have
look
spawned.
pretty interesting in the lane.
Yeah, it's curious actually because I don't see how an Ashe would pretty much be able to hold out against, say, if the Caitlyn and Zyra suddenly decide to focus and lands about a couple of their abilities onto the Ashe. There is little she can do in response, especially if they hide behind minions, because a volley can get blocked by enemy minions. So I'm not sure how they'll hold their own, and Origin Soul automatically pushing the wave, as we can see in directed camera over here.
Yeah, this is the wave that I was talking about. It's pretty easy to play with, and that's what he's doing right now.
And he's already moving out. I'm not too sure if he wants to go and ward a camp
Oh,
and then kill
level
there.
one.
And oh my god, this is very interesting. It seems that INF's bot lane took the initiative and just went right on ahead past the minion wave to harass them in response. This is also a very useful tactic. Franco must have probably realized how treacherous the lane would have been, especially when the bot lane hits level 3 more than level 2.
And
So he's
Panda
just
will
trying to
have-
weather the storm as much. Give CS to Ripcord. This is a very good tactic. It's a very good decision being made by Frank over here. And now the Caitlyn is too low that he can't even step up to CS because he. And a level 3 gank coming in from Zenga.
And
Now
Panda
that.
falls pretty low, flash burned, but
Yeah.
so it's a summoner down, and that gives some breathing space, some room.
And
to
that,
Maokai.
folks, and that kind of gank, yeah, and that kind of gank can only happen in this specific meta because the Krugs experience was changed. They took out a lot of experience from the Raptors and transferred it over to the Krugs. So if you go red into Krugs, you get an instant level 3. Go top if you're red side, or bot lane if you're blue side.
Yep,
So that's a
that's
very,
true.
very standard path right now.
That's true. And Carnage getting harassed down there a bit. Meanwhile, Nautilus coming top to give Panda some room.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Rumble. Huh? Sorry?
Pretty standard stuff going on right now.
Yeah. True, and more trading happening, but Maokai cannot ever truly get to the point of killing the Rumble. But at the same time, this is the only time where he can ever trade with the Rumble. So if you can harass him and try to get a small CS lead going for him without getting harassed too much by the Rumble in response, which is kind of hard early on when he has no items and he doesn't have the levels to pull it off, but we'll see.
And they have poked the bot lane quite a lot, and pretty
Yeah,
aggressive.
since level 1, FA's bot lane has been seeing hell.
Yeah, and
We already
pretty
see a
aggressive
12
approach
CS
by
lead.
Franco.
We already see a 12 CS lead in favor of the Ashe over the Caitlyn. So they have to back. I mean, they have to kind of back and give up at least a wave. They'll probably try to do that after getting the cannon wave, but with this health, I don't think they're in very real danger of getting killed here. But at the same time, Cluster's not nowhere near bot lane, so they probably will take the chance and will get away with farming this wave, even though they don't really have information of where Rengar is.
Yeah, that's true. So Panda going for his first pick there, and Nautilus coming bot.
And Nautilus coming in, he doesn't have flash, so he can't really go too far. And they do get a dredgeline hook onto the Karma, but it's a Karma. She really can't die with that shield that she has
Oh, and
going.
Ripcord fighting back,
oh wow, Q
Cluster
barely
coming from
misses,
behind.
and oh my god, Cluster.
Aurelian also coming in. Could this be a first kill? And Cluster gets a
Good
kill
roam.
on Carnage. Things have got a little interesting now. First blood coming in.
Yeah, I mean, that was just crazy. I mean, you don't thought of it, Cluster's kind of fairly silly. Oh god.
There's a pause. So
Oh yeah. Okay. Anyway. So yeah, the thing about that is, I think somebody complained about your mic volume being too low or something. Just try and increase it if you have lowered it, because I can't really hear you over me on stream.
Oh, okay. I'll just fix it. Just give me 2 seconds.
Yeah. So anyway, what went down? I mean, I thought the gank was over when Cluster kind of missed his flash, but I think the fact that Sam was coming bot lane kind of helped INF in a way that just the extra presence gave the other players initiative to just go and do something. So
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
dedication they showed towards that bot lane gank was pretty good. He was
yeah, that's the
able to
thing.
poke out
Like
that
I thought,
Victor.
normally if it were just a standard 3v2, it would have been over if for the moment Cluster missed flash and like threw his E away. I mean, missed the bowler after flashing, not missed the flash. But yeah. So anyway, it seems top lane is the only stable lane happening, and mid lane too, because they're both holding out. But the bot lane already having suffering from some few early troubles. But we'll see how they get through this. They just need levels and items, and then they'll again be able to get into that commanding position of being a poke lane and actually pulling out their combo. But until then, they seem to be in very big trouble.
Yep, that's true. Sam with that continuously aggressive approach to that Karma, dropping down the Zyra to almost half HP with that poke. So yeah, it's a bit tough for FA as a bot lane right now, since they gave the first blood advantage as well.
Yeah, and at the same time, I think Nautilus should kind of. I believe he should at least get an item before going down to gank such a kind of lane because of how well they can handle it. And oh my god, here comes Cluster ulting to bot lane, but he can't really reach him. He does reach the Caitlyn, but nothing comes off him because
Sam
he does
getting
not really
caught.
have much energy. And will he really this thing? Voice of Light does come out and it will save him for now, but can he fully escape out of all this? And oh my god, a Mantra E coming out of Karma.
Oh my
And
god,
they
that
hit the
aggressive
stun
approach.
and Carnage, oh, Synth will die. And Carnage helplessly trying to hit, but it won't really amount to anything. But at the same time, Cluster with the bad pathing back in did not really. I don't think Sam communicated that it was a Nautilus and a Victor that was chasing him right down, and Cluster might have just. I'm not too sure why he didn't walk with his team out there at the back. Maybe he just didn't. Maybe he just thought he didn't really need the safety aiming towards red buff. But there had to have been some form of communication between Sam and Cluster that Cluster either might not have heard or interpreted, or Sam would not have given the call correctly. Which is very interesting because, yeah, there would be no reason why someone, and it's Cluster, like it's not, I'm pretty sure he's not inexperienced enough to kind of understand team this thing, and especially considering it's Sam, and it's not, there won't really be any gaps in communication because they've been teammates for a while now. But anyway,
it's more of a overconfidence approach rather than a communication gap. Cluster
yeah,
thought,
I think his considering where he was pathing, he wanted to go into their jungle to try and take their camp, but forgot that Victor and Nautilus had gone to try to kill the Origin soldier.
yep, that's true. So it ended up as a 1-for-1 trade, basically, but there's a minor 1k gold lead on Team and Famous's side, which comes from the first blood and the amount of assists
Yep.
they have over FA. But game is pretty
Yeah.
balanced right now.
The game is very bad, especially in the top lane. I think if top lane just keeps going the way it is and Panda ends up reaching his power spikes, then it will be. Okay, it'll slowly start to become a huge warning sign because the Maokai will just constantly keep building magic resistance without the intention to really kill Panda, and he'll just try to protect his star as long as he can. So I think Nautilus can kind of shift his approach fed to the point where they kind of crack open top tower so that he can start laying solo pressure and draw pressure on the map and draw pressure away from their bot lane and may kind of focus him more. But instead, I mean, of course, right now we do see him clearing. He did attempt a couple of ganks down there, and he did try and go for mid to catch Origin Soul that one time, which are good decisions. Which are good decisions
Your voice
at
is
the time, but
cracking. Your
the
voice is
fact that they haven't been able to pull it off is now kind of a warning sign for them. Oh, that's probably my key kind of this thing. But basically, I think Nautilus should start helping top lane. Like, he should start looking at the one lane that's kind of holding itself really, really well. And mid lane again, but it really depends. Like, he has to weigh the difference. Again, he's going bot lane right now, trying to see he'll in the brush and try to go for another, really long-winded gank when his dredge line comes back up.
Yep, the anchor almost missing him.
Yeah, and
Could
so
have created an
information.
opportunity.
Okay, they have kind of communicated that Rengar might be somewhere in top lane, but it shouldn't be too much of of a hassle for Panda to just keep the wave and kind of freeze the wave to an extent. And he's never really going to fully commit to the Maokai, acknowledging that he has a Spectre's Call anyway. So his own game sense should kind of save him, I feel, from the Rengar gank, but we'll see, because he is opting to stay, and when the wave resets, he might go for something aggressive. But oh my god,
and so much damage
and here, and there is nothing he can do.
There's nothing they can do. There was an instant burst onto Panda, and even though he was able to land his ulti, he will fall down. And we were just talking about how top was going.
Yeah, I mean, at that time his own game sense saved him, but when he stayed, I don't think Eternal was clear in making the call across, because he did ping miss on the enemy's blue side jungle. I mean, on INF's blue side jungle. Like, he did ping a miss ping after hitting their, I forgot the name of that plant, which gives vision.
Yep, the Zyra's.
What is the name of the plant, man? I forgot. Which gives vision, just like lays off huge. Skyer's Bloom or something?
Yep.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, after he kind of did that and scouted out and saw that Rengar was not really there, he should have made the call to just make. He should have told Panda to just pretty much play safe at top, or just not really stay near the brushes, because that's the best way Rengar can this thing. But anyway, so a lot of communication gap lapses happening for both teams. First, the incident with Sam and Cluster, and that they can do, but can they get the kill off of this? Panda does not have equalizer, so they won't be able to solidify the kill here.
Yep, and Shifu
again, very weak
tanky.
Initiatives being shown.
Oh, Sam coming
and
in.
And here comes Aurelion Sol. He has been roaming from the start, and he will get the stun off onto the Nautilus. And can he get the kill? He absolutely will, with ease, even going over to Shifu.
Okay, so that's a lot of misplay coming in from Frost Academy. With the Spectral Call and the tankiness that Shifu is showing right now, I don't think they had to overcommit there so much.
Correct. No, it's less about the Spectral Call, right? Because Panda blew his ultimate as he died back then. I mean, if he had saved it, believing that he would anyway die and wouldn't make a difference, then that would have been a different story. Because with Equalizer, that gank was a sure kill onto the Maokai, and they're not really up, you can come and gank now, or wait till my ultimate is up, you can come and gank and then we can get the kill off like that. And oh my god, this is a huge all-in. But will Aurasara die off this? No, he does have flash, so he will be able to keep himself safe. Does blow both of his summoners, in fact, in the process. He actually made a
both of them
following behind the Aurelion Sol in that top lane, but as the gank is happening. But INF, Sam is actually doing a really good job of timing, like making the jungler time his ganks as he pushes the wave so that he can follow up.
That's
like
true,
he's
that's
just
true.
playing because of how easy it is to do so with Aurelion Sol and getting in along with the jungler. The timing is really important here of how he's managing to pull it off and get it all done.
That's true. A little bit advantage in the terms of CS building up in mid and top, but jungle pressure is all on Cluster's side right now. 80 CS with 1 kill and 2 assists. He's pretty fat.
True, but if you look at them as champions, it's not like Carnage is. I mean, so it's not like Eternal is playing this very, kind of damage-based jungler that can fall off in the mid or late game. He's playing Nautilus, so he's playing a pick there where it's okay to fall behind on because of the items that you'll be building and because of what how you'll be contributing to in team fights.
Yep, that's true.
So in that way, it's not too bad on Eternal's thing that he's getting out-farmed in the jungle, because Nautilus can just fall back to being a flat tank and just doing his own job while the damaging jungler. And a Dreadline does hit on Aurelion Sol, but nothing really comes off it. And Arunosara does not have a Chaos Storm to try and lay in that extra damage either. And
that arrow
the arrow misses. And can they reciprocate damage enough to kill him? No, not really. Caitlyn does have the ult, and he could go for the Ashe when the shield goes down, but he might look to hit another. Okay, there we go. It was a bit of trouble, a bit of very troublesome events happening for INF's bot lane, but FA's bot lane in the process have been chunked down, and now Cluster is slowly making his way down. He does have ult. He will be looking for a dive or something. Is also on this side, so we'll see if he tries and goes for the counter gank. He is just clearing ganks to this thing, and oh my god, that is a very, very bad move by the Oblivion Soul. He just ran right in when Victor had all the mana in the world to just go and ult him, and he couldn't even Voice of Light to save himself. All he had was Flash, so that was a very bad decision by Sam to just move in on
yep, that's true. Sam shouldn't have committed to that 1v1.
Yeah.
He kind of overstayed his welcome and got punished.
Well, anyway, he probably was looking at the CS and he wasn't really looking at his own position and seeing himself walk in, because Aurelion Sol is that kind of a champ where you have to actually move yourself around to kind of CS instead of, auto-attacking or casting flat spells that have a radius around you, just because the way Aurelion is. And I guess that's the first obstacle even newer Aurelion Sol players face. It's that they'll end up walking into the enemy just when all they're thinking about will be to get their stars around to CS. So, but good on Arunasura to capitalize on the fact that he moved in too close and into range of all of his abilities, because he managed to put everything like in quick succession.
Yep, that's very true. Synth clearing out wards, pretty standard stuff happening here.
Right. Meanwhile, let's just take a quick look at the items. Panda does have his Haunting Guys, which does sort of contribute to this thing. When he completes his Leonardo Storm, that'll be his first item power spike, and where his damage really ramps up, and he'll be able to lay some serious pain, especially if he manages to get off successful teleports and gank bot lane, say. And oh my god, he's pinging bot lane. I think he's planning for a teleport. He does have Equalizer, does have everything suitable to this thing, but the lane is not really pushed up. And Kanko is probably strongly advising Ripcord to play back, because oh my god, here comes the teleport. Can they make something of this? The Nautilus just come in, the dredge line goes through, it does capture the Ash, the arrow misses in response, and Synth gets the kill onto the Ash over here, and Aurelion Sol is also here. He's actually caught. There's really nothing he can do, and he gets a 4-man Voice of Light to save himself.
Meanwhile, Carnage does manage to get a kill on Cranko.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, wow. Oh, that's wonderful. I didn't really notice how that happened, because I was too busy believing that FA would just get the Aurelion Soul, because they had stood in a line and made sure that Sam could easily get away with Voice of Light for some reason. I'm not sure why they kind of grouped up. They probably forgot or probably not used to that. And Flash is in. As does the Maokai. I'm not sure why Shifu also flashed in, because Cluster had the kill over there. He could have just put a sapling for an assist if he wanted it, but anyway. So Arunasura getting completely this thing here. All in this thing, and they have traded the mid tower for the bot tower.
And Panda being destroyed there.
Panda, yeah.
That was unnecessary.
Yeah. I mean, either he wasn't looking. I'm seriously hoping he wasn't looking or something, because resources that INF had, it would have been enough of a warning to say that, okay, the star is going down, just play back. Anyway, probably also nerves. You can't tell really. He was ganked twice. He did have like a couple of failed gank attempts from his own jungler at top lane, so there could have been a lot, and he died. An arrow coming out from Ripcord. Oh no, sorry, that was a volley. I thought I heard an arrow. Anyway.
Yup, and Cluster finishing off with his first lethality item, and he does look a little scary right now, because he's dishing a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Victor has 2 kills. Victor has 2 kills.
The Victor has 2 kills, and he has done good to kind of stay afloat in CS. And Panda has this thing equalized, and it's a very, very good equalizer.
Oh my god, he does get ripped
there. Amazing. Very, very bad call from either the support or the AD carry to even plan for that dive, because the parent.
There's another Nautilus
and another
is
sort of collapse happening, and Nautilus, I believe he didn't miss his Q. I only managed to see it on the minimap, and Edge of Night has been procced on to Cluster. He's looking for some kind of this thing, and he will get completely destroyed because his whole team is kind of there. So
yeah, Cluster.
I don't think the team is communicating, man. They're not really telling each other where everybody is.
There's a lot of
Or
miscommunication
either,
right there.
or maybe that, or they're just playing with too little information as is, and they're just not able to see that the whole team is slowly collapsing into them, and not knowing where the wards are. Because on a macro level, this it's been very disappointing for both teams. They're not able to tell each other who's where. And again, like this, Sam is now caught out. He has to proc Ghost, and Grasping Minds does land, and not really able to combo with the gravity field from Arunasura. But anyway, they do force his flash, so a summoners with an Orleans for the summoner spells is usually not too much of a threat. So we'll see how they capitalize on that long run in the next team fight or two, depending on how things go. And right now it does look like no team is really going to make a play for the Herald, so the Herald will pretty much just get swallowed up by Baron, and Baron will come out. There we go. Herald Rift has returned to the void right now.
Yep.
So
And,
interesting thing. At least it's not a very dead and laid back game.
Yep, there's constant back and forth happening between both teams, and it's pretty interesting to this point right now. Ash getting her first big item, the Essence Reaver.
It's also even in a way because it's not like no team is losing collectively. They're all winning at their various places, and they're all trying to make wherever they won. Like they're all trying to pull up the advantages of wherever they won into their game and this thing, and some amount of damage onto that top lane. I mean, onto that bottom outer turret. Panda's not really anywhere. He is choosing to stay mid, probably try and force a fight and get that mid tower, which is also a very sound option at this point because bottom tower looks like it's not worth holding anymore. And considering their bottom tower is down, it's probably also a wiser decision to stay mid in case an impending team fight moves in. And again, Sam is just overextending so much, and he's not able to do much. And wow, cluster. Enough damage, even though he ulted and got down the Arunasura, he might kill Zyra. Huge collapse coming in. Shifu able to effortlessly flash W and get 4 members of FA in the process.
So that's a 4-for-1 trade coming in.
Yeah.
And that's
And a double
brilliant.
kill for Ripcord, so that's always good.
And they'll get the middle turret as well, so they had the advantage there, but they kind of lost it.
Yeah, FA kind of overstayed their welcome, I think, because Eternal, as the tower was dying, kind of hoping to get Ash, and when that missed, he kind of just stayed and waited for another, which is usually the recipe for impending doom, because the other team can just collapse and kill you in response, because they're way healthier.
That's true, and this gets them the middle third turret, the inhibitor turret, and the inhibitor in the mid lane is exposed, so FA will have to play around that. They will have to save that inhibitor, and basically
Odd build path. Very odd build path coming in for the Orleans. So I'm not sure why he's getting an early Banshee's Veil. Is it that he fears the CC of Zyra and Nautilus in some way? Or I'm not too sure why he does thing. And again, I don't play Orleans Soul, so maybe there is some secret build in that way in the mid lane. But anyway, I'm expecting to see Arunasura to step up. I'm expecting FA to kind of try and pull team fights in chokes, or at least bait INF into chokes. Because in open spaces are the best ground for INF to try and win a team fight, as we saw in that collapse. Even though that was partly because FA was less healthier than INF as a team, and so INF could just make the call to go in. But otherwise, if FA into fights on chokes by like baits or whatever, however, they should be able to get a ridiculously big advantage, because the Equalizer along with the Stranglethorns along with Chaos Storm is a very deadly combo. So come 5v5 team fights, and I do think there will be 5v5 team fights because no team is really playing split pushers. Every team, in the top lane, because it's a Rumble and Maokai, you want both of them in the fight with your team right there. So
Yep, and a brilliant presence shown there by Sam. As soon as he saw that he got damage from Panda, who was waiting in the bush, he realized there could be a ward nearby, and he actually cleared it. So they are showing
that kind of macro knowledge. Yeah, and that kind of macro knowledge is much needed right now. The awareness, the realization of wards at this stage of the game, because you're both fighting heavy 5v5 team fight comps, right? So it all depends on who is in a which champions are in a more favorable position than the other, and it all in these kind of scenarios, I feel.
Yep, and that ZZ Rod portal being a little nuisance in the bot. Meanwhile, Flash
And
being
a
burned down
flash
by
coming out from Synth. Wow. So Panda in that bot lane trying to push out and try to lay some pressure. He might try and take down that ZZ Dot in that bottom lane, but
But well,
four
if they
members
get
of
this,
FA.
if they get this top turret, that ZZ Rod is worth it.
From cluster, only Nautilus can see him, so he is laying down all of his CC and nobody's really there to back him up, so it's a bit of wasted CC on the side of Nautilus there. Won't be able to do too much besides slowing the entire team in if there was any team fight to go for, but the whole of INF as a 5 does appear to be going for the Dragon or the Inhibitor, so they might split off since cluster is pretty much strong enough to solo Dragon on his own, while Shifu goes to bot lane, so...
Panda did burn his teleport there, so they have that little information.
Right,
Also.
and yeah, it seems like FA are just being taken for a ride in form of team rotations because they just haphazardly following around and trying to rely on catches just like that, and Kranko will use his flash to get away safely there.
But another dragon
Then ultimate
falling
does
down.
go on, but...
3 dragons in favor of team INF. That looks scary.
But I believe a couple of them were Ocean. I did not see the second dragon and what it was.
Well,
it was an Ocean the first and Ocean now, but I wasn't sure of the second dragon that INF took. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, 2 Oceans will now give them some random out of combat mana regen, mana and sweet region, which will actually play an impact.
it was 1 cloud, 2 oceans.
Team rotations. Yeah, when they rotate, they'll be able to pretty much get increased mana and health regen, and that will pretty much...
Plus the movement speed bonus as well. So the rotations are going to be really crucial because of both utility buffs on them.
Right.
And it was a very funny...
ADCs as far as... Yeah, very funny scene.
It was a very funny scene, funny stat in the worlds where the least amount of double dragon victory.
Oh my god, never mind. Wait, hold that thought, because Redemption is coming out for INF, so that will keep the karma alive, and in response, the Maokai will be all over them. They have their fight. They don't have their ultimates, they don't have the equalizer. Chaos Storm did very little, and so FA will die a slow and painful death over here. And wow, this is very well played. It was very well played on Franco's side to just Redemption and just hang in there. It takes a lot to pretty much, not give up in that scenario when you've been hit with that much damage, but really good game sense on the side of Franco. Goes to show that master supports really know their stuff when they get hit by and
that's
caught
true.
by abilities.
And there's something really funny. Cranko hasn't really slept from the past 24 hours, and he wasn't going to play this game because he was damn sleepy. But still, he's on. He's so crisp with his mechanics. Like, you can't feel that the guy hasn't slept for 24 hours.
Yeah, but you fail to realize that getting master and challenger, more than just, getting better at the skill in general, it's also about the time you put in the game, right? So all that energy that you would have spent trying to get to masters and just the endurance that you would have built up would have helped you play and keep your mechanics up even when you're half asleep.
Yeah, that's
Point
true.
where he's practiced enough to be able to do this. So yeah, it's also about the number of games and putting in the time along with, getting the need to improve yourself and all the other things that go into being diamond and challenger and all that. So Baron will go over to INF this game, and they're seriously strong. They're in a very seriously strong spot right now, and Shifu with his teleporter can pick a lane, and INF. Thank you to the blue buff, or did he get the blue buff, or did okay? I think Nautilus smited the blue buff away from him. The cluster just says bye. If you're going to be that way, then bye.
Cluster was.
So yeah, and again another ult coming in. Clusters like ridiculously far behind.
Oh, beautiful arrow!
Very
beautiful arrow! And they get
But
an amazing pickup on the Caitlyn. Beautiful arrow coming in there by Lipcord. And oh my god.
I don't think they even had vision for that. Yeah, they didn't even have the vision for that to get that arrow down. So really, really good. Well done by Ripcord to stun them. I was wondering why Cluster would ult from so far off, because it seemed certain that Carnage would be able to get away in time. But anyway. So really interesting to see right now. A Baron up INF now ready and raring for a team fight, but FA without, but they can still kind of going. And
and Arura,
Aurelian Soul, they might actually get killed in response. Will this be enough? And the minion auto attack, really doing a lot of work.
The minions for the win.
For INF here and wow.
And the middle inhibitor falls down.
That's the inhibitor down at mid lane, and now easily collapse onto all of this. They're just happily engaging. They can really make mincemeat out of FA over here in this team fight. And look at Shifu with all the tanky items that he's built. He's built a Zerot, a Banshees, and a Spirit Visage, and a Mercury Tread. A Merc Tread. So Panda can't touch him, Arunasura can't touch him, Carnage will be the only one who will have to do anything against him. And if they focus on Carnage, and if Carnage focuses only on Shifu, then there will be a Rengar.
Yep.
Rengar, Karma, and an Aurelian Soul ready to stun her and just kill her in response. So things going very smoothly for INF after incredible teamfight turnaround at outside the Baron pit, which enabled them to get Baron and make this kind of power play. Where they managed to get two inhibitors down.
I've never really figured out if it's Z-Rot or ZZ-Rot.
ZZ-Rot. People do call it Zerot, but ZZ-Rot is kind of the actual distance. Thing was ZZ-Rot portal, but people do kind of say Zerot when speaking quickly and trying to put it into a sentence. So
yeah, it's a little confusing. But on the whole, a good show put up by INF.
By INF, indeed, yeah, they've been really good to turn around the fights. And apart from this fight over here, I'm not sure how this thing ends. That's a very, very good gravity field, but it's on the tanks who can pretty much take all the damage in the world. So there's nothing really to worry about on the side of INF, unless Ripcord does that and gets tagged by ult or something.
Oh, Sam is going mid. But the Aurelian Soul is going mid.
Yeah, and he's trying to get the DVH also free because nobody is there. All 5 members are around there, and an arrow comes out. And let's try to get something done. And Stranglethorns is out, but won't really do. Zyrax falls, as will Carnage, and as will Panda.
And so, Sam doing a 2v1 right
Sam is making mincemeat 1v2. Actually manages to get the victor.
And
what is going on here? He's just
Eternal. Okay, this is.
Well then, GG's coming out. They're obviously done, and Sam just commits into their base in terms of response, and INF will get a really, really good victory off of making good use of that Baron and the teamfight turnaround. So that's the match, folks. It's very awkward of FA to kind of go out this way, because they did have 2 other solo lanes doing well, but they just couldn't pull it together and come teamfight phase, and just could not execute their comp right, it would seem. So anyway, that has been the first semi-final between FA and INF. INF putting on a really, really good show and capitalizing off of mistakes done by FA, and also bring some of their own initiative over and contributing and trying to bring the whole win together in a 5v5 team fight comp scenario. So I'm Zedaius, and on behalf of Anthracite, see you.
See you.